This was revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam doesn't speak from his own accord. Loving Allah and His Messenger, love is min a'mal al-qulub. Love is from the actions of the heart. And no one can sincerely say, I know you love me, or I know you love Allah, I love you, I know you love His Messenger. We can say what is apparent from your actions is that you love Allah and His Messenger. But we can't make jazm. We can't say emphatically, absolutely that you love Allah and His Messenger unless that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When did drinking intoxicants go against Tawheed? Or when did drinking intoxicants go against the religion? Drinking intoxicants went against the religion the moment that the salat was revealed. The command for salat. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, don't come to the salat sukara hatta ta'lamu ma taqulun. Don't come to the salat in a drunken state until you understand what you're saying. Now drinking alcohol becomes a problem. But before then, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was nurturing the Muslims upon Tawheed, drinking alcohol does not conflict with Tawheed, contrary to the belief of the Khawarij, those who believe that the one who commits a major sin removes him from the fold of Al-Islam. And although we may not say it with our tongues that the individual has left the fold of Islam, we say it in our actions, because we make the individual an outcast from the community. No one talks to him. No one gives him nasiha. Nothing. He's an outcast. And although we don't say he's a kafir, we treat him as if he's a kafir. And you may have someone close to you that does just as worse as he does, but because that's your buddy, that's your homie, that's your friend, you don't give him the same treatment that you give someone else. مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. What is wrong with you and how you judge people? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said about Ibrahim alayhi salam. He mentioned the qissa of Ibrahim with his father. وَاسْمَعْ لِهَذِهِ قِصَّةِ. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى واذكر في الكتاب إبراهيم إنه كان صديقا نبيا إذ قال لأبيه يا أبتي لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولا يغني عنك شيئا يا أبتي إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهديك صراطا سويا يا أبتي لا تعبد الشيطان إن الشيطان كان للرحمن عصيا. Listen to what Ibrahim, how he spoke to his father. خاطبه بأدب بغاية الأدب. He spoke to his father who was a mushrik with adab. He didn't tell his father stop drinking. He didn't tell his father stop doing whatever he was doing other than what was most important. The first thing he said to his father, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and remember the story of Ibrahim, that he was indeed truthful and he was a prophet. Remember when he said to his father, Ya abati. And abati in Arabic, هذا أسلوب الاحترام. It is how you speak to someone, but you speak to them with adab, with reverence and respect. As this is the way that we have been ordered to address our parents, even though they may be upon kufr and shirk. Unlike the way many of us speak to our parents, Allahu musta'an, those from amongst us who have Muslim parents, fortunate enough to have Muslim parents, and those of us who are unfortunate and have parents that are kuffar, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them to Islam. But look at the way that we address our parents. Some of you who are Muslim and who have Muslim parents, you should be embarrassed and you should be ashamed about the way that you address your parents. Here it is, his father's upon clear shirk, and he addressed him, Ya abati, oh my beloved father, with all due respect, as we would say in English, with all due respect, my beloved father. And his father's a mushrik. You have many from amongst us, because your parents have rejected Islam, you don't even talk to your parents, let alone speak to them with respect, speak to them with reverence. And these two people, after the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are responsible for your existence. He said, "Oh my beloved father, why do you worship that which cannot hear and cannot see and cannot benefit you anything?" And look at the way that he addressed it. Look at the way he addressed it first. He wanted to draw his attention. And this is in the Arabic language called al-istifham al-inkari. This is a rhetorical question to draw his attention to the stupidity in what he was worshiping. Although he did not come out and say that his idols were stupid or his idols, he did not speak in disrespect to his idols. At least not to begin with. Later on he had a different tone with his father. As a shidda fi mawdi'iha hasan. When harshness is put in its proper perspective, then it becomes something that's praiseworthy. Because he said to his father, after his father showed that he wasn't interested in what he was calling him to, he changed. He said to him, "Uffin lakum walima ta'buduna min dunillah. Afata ta'qinun." Cursed be you and what you worship. Uffin lakum walima ta'budun. You and what you worship, all of y'all are cursed. Don't you have any sense? He changed, but that wasn't his initial approach. Just like it wasn't the initial approach of Musa alayhi salam when he approached Fir'aun. Musa's initial approach was with respect. And then when Fir'aun changed and showed that he wasn't interested, Musa changed. Inni la'adhunuka ya Fir'aun mathbura. I think Fir'aun, you are going to be destroyed and humiliated. But that wasn't his initial approach. His initial approach was with respect. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلٍ لَيِّنٍ لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرَ أَوْ يَخْشَى. Say to him a kind word. A kind word. And this is an individual who said, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. I'm your Lord, the Most High. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say to him a kind word. Because people are more receptive to you when you approach them with respect. You go up to an individual and say, Anta ya hizbi, Anta ya mubtadi'. You come to an individual and say, you are hizbi, you are mubtadi'. Who's going to accept that from you? La ahad. Your own children, abna'uka wa hum aqrab an-nas ilayk ma yaqbal hadha mink. Your own children, who are the most closest people to you, won't even accept that from you. How much more with somebody who's not even your relative? We need to learn the adab, the manners and the behavior of the prophets and messengers. And that's because we don't read the Quran. And if we read the Quran, we don't reflect and ponder on the Quran. That's the sole purpose of the Quran. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. Don't you ponder and reflect on the Quran? أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Or do you have a lock on your heart? And as Abdullah ibn Aoun, he said, إِلْتَمِسْ قُلُوبَكُمْ فِي الثَّلَاثَةِ. Try to find your heart in three places. فِي ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ فِي حِلَكِ الذِّكْر. In the circles of knowledge. وَفِي الْخَلْوَةِ. And at times when you are alone, try to find that your heart is present when you talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just you by yourself. وَفِي قِرَاءَةِ الْقُرْآنِ. And when you recite in the Quran, you try to find that your heart, hadir, is present. He said, فَإِن لَمْ تَلْتَمِسْ قَلْبَكَ فِي هَذِهِ الثَّلَاثِ الْمَوَاضِعِ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهَ أَنْ يَمُنَّ عَلَيْكَ بِقَلْبٍ جَدِيدٍ فَلَيْسَ لَكَ قَلْبٍ. And if you can't find your heart in these three places, then just ask Allah to give you another heart, because you don't have one. You can't find your heart at the time. Wallahi, many of us don't even read the Quran. فضلا عن يعني التدبر. We don't even read the Quran, let alone ponder and reflect over the meanings of the Quran. تريد النجاة ولا تسلك مسالكها إن السفينة لا تجري على اليبس. You want success, but you're not willing to go to the extents to get success.